Dennis and Martin are going to tell you about some of the places you can find more information, and I think Dennis has a secret code number that some people are looking for too, so we'll give them an opportunity to carry on here. So,
well, just real quickly, except I first want to thank Pierce as well for coming up here. I think it's a real credit to the university folks. They work a lot together. I think Marty and both Martys here and Pierce have seen each other, or will be seeing each other 3 times this month. So it's a good month for Pierce. But my point is there's a lot of collaboration in the Midwest. For example, we're part of the North Central states, and that reaches from Kansas, Kentucky, and that collaboration is really valuable. Pierce is one of those, I guess, is our go-to guy for fungal diseases on wheat, so we're really appreciative that he's with us today. I just want to cover what you already have in your packet, and as a reminder, and as the season goes forward, a couple of resources for you just to keep you in the loop. First of all, of course, is your wheat program webpage. That's still up there. Nowadays, a quick search is really valuable. Just put in wheat program. It'll be the first one that comes up, or Michigan wheat program. Christy mentioned this, but yeah, this is becoming a more and more important guide to have around. So I included the weed control guide in the website where you can have that. So it is online. But I do appreciate, too, what Christy has put on the back of that. Half the time I call her, I say, well, what do you think about this? And she says, well, there are 2 pages in the back of the weed guide. But so I'm continually embarrassed, so I don't talk to her anymore. But the rough stalk bluegrass, incidentally, at least a dozen of you will have that. That's really pertinent. I'm not sure if you have an eye for it. In the thumb and the Saginaw Valley, we really have an eye for windgrass. This could become at least as important, and you might have both and may not recognize it. Fortunately, we have the grass materials that might address both. And fortunately, we have axial too, because you will, some of you are going to put clover out there, you got a nice growth, and all of a sudden you wonder what's all this grass coming up through there. And we have to catch it early, so watch for grass in between the rows. But the point is, we can get it if we get it earlier with an axial treatment. I shouldn't go off on these diversions. This is the single best agronomic piece of information we have is actually the variety trial results. Thanks to Eric and Dennis and that whole crew. The attributes that they list in those are very valuable, and I refer to that more than any other MSU resource. Pierce mentioned this. Pierce developed this with another guy from Michigan, Eric DeWolf out of Kansas. That forecast model, check that out. I don't always, I always do check it every year, and sometimes I write a commentary for that. But it really, sometimes you get all twisted up in terms of these weather patterns, and it really can add, even if you want to do you're doing your own modeling in your head, that perspective is really good because it is driven by weather parameters. So especially if you're in your agribusiness, you're scouting a lot of wheat acres, look at that because it makes a difference. That's the MSU Field Crops website. You have this, and then this is the weed site. Dennis, few of us are updating this, but this will, I think, be a real valuable page. This is the wheat page where we'll have a lot of our fact sheets on wheat. Oh, Marty and I just reviewed that. I think it agrees with everything Pierce says. He's going to have to go through it with a red pen and check it, but I think that Fusarium fact sheet is consistent with many of what Pierce has said. In 2016, I included this in the packet because every year we cannot get a real good systemized rating of varieties. And while this is a couple years old now, it's probably going to be the best rating that we'll ever have just because the pressure was so uniform and so nice in this Richville area. Eric and company really captured that. And so that's going to be a valuable resource going down the road. And even as new varieties come along, in communicating with your seed companies, you can say, okay, this variety is this. How does this new variety compare to that? So you have some relative scale, even with varieties going forward. Also last year, and we can't do this every year, but Linda Brown did some sprouting information. She rated all the varieties, so there's 4 pages there that Dennis put together of that work, so that's going to be a valuable resource years coming up. We're almost ready to start paying you money if you start with sending in some plant samples. That's really helpful to us. The Wheat Board is paying for these samples that you could send in. Even if you're not sure if it's nutrient related or disease related, we really encourage you to send those in. So you have one of those forms in your packet, but it's also online. It's pretty easy to do. The most difficult part is mailing it, of course. But be sure if you have a question, be it the head or anything else, take some pictures, include those if you like, and email them. But if the more samples we get from all of you, the more we know about Michigan wheat and some of the hazards we might be looking at going down the road, and we can all learn from each other. Okay, Dennis, what?
Okay, so your RUP code is listed up there at the top. Make sure you fill out all your bubbles completely. Make sure you sign it and fill out the date, the seminar code, and your applicator number. We have had a few people that, we get so many of these, we don't go through and scan them or check them all to make sure. We've had some people fill this all out and they don't put in their applicator number, so they didn't get any credits. So make sure you fill all that stuff out. There is a basket by the exit door where you can leave your bubble sheets. I've got a box up here. You can keep your pencils if you really are attached to them and want them, but I do use them at each meeting, so if you'd like to bring them up here, I would take the pencils back or just leave them on the table. So
Go to the next slide, too.
this is worth 8 credits in private core, commercial core, or 1A. So,
Just mention that.
oh yeah, so to fill this thing out, where's the,
Here's the pointer if you like.
yeah. So when you fill this out, if you're a commercial applicator, you can either apply the credits to your commercial core or to your category. If you're a private applicator, don't fill anything out here, okay? This area for category credits is only if you want to apply it to 1A, and that's only commercial applicators, okay? So if you're a private applicator, only check or fill in that bubble right there for private core.
Advance it one more and the number will come back up.
Okay, here's your number, 97311-A08. Dave, any final comments?
All right, I certainly want to thank all the presenters today. I certainly appreciate everybody's attention and coming today, and certainly go out and have a safe and successful year. Thank you very much.